All right, friends, welcome to another episode of the Overshare Hour. And I am so excited today. I have Abigail here from TikTok and from Healedish. If you guys listen to her series of letters that you wrote to your future husband, reading them to your now husband. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on.
My gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Gossiping and talking about other people's problems is one of my favorite pastimes. Um, and I'm honestly like, as much as I've loved talking on the internet about all of my religious trauma, I also love talking about stuff that's not related to that. So I'm very excited to talk about other people's issues and judge them
Yes.
and give advice.
Unfortunately, the first one is religious.
Okay, all right, bring it, bring it.
But it's the only religious one. I was like,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
throw in a religious one just for funskies.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we know ball.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of ball, this has to do with a ball. All right. So this one is from Am I the Asshole? And the title is Am I the Asshole for not allowing my mother in law to sign up my daughter for a purity ball at her church? Ooh, okay. So it says, I posted here before about my mother in law, and now I'm back with another issue.
Many
My
such
daughter,
cases. Many such
oftentimes,
cases.
my daughter Tess, who is 9 female, has gone to church with mother in law periodically since she was little. I didn't love that as I'm not a religious person and my mother in law is an aggressive Baptist, but my husband thinks it's a good bonding activity, so I don't complain. Plus, it gives us some adult time on Sundays. Well, because of the virus, services have gone online. Tess still goes over to mother in law's place to help her set up her laptop and they watch it together. She also Zooms into the girls' Sunday school group after service. Last week, Tess came home chattering about the ball and how mother in law is going to take her shopping at a fancy shopping center in our town. I thought she was just playing an imagination game, so I just nodded along. Then my husband chimed in to remind Tess that the budget is $50. I was super confused and asked him what was up. He gave me a kind of shady look and said that the girls' Sunday school class was going to be having a dance this June. I asked him how COVID would affect that, and he didn't know. My spidey senses were tingling, so I pulled him aside to the back porch. Eventually, I gathered that he was talking about an annual purity ball for 10 to 14-year-old girls. He said that my sister in law had done it in middle school and that it was a fun thing and not a big deal. I started blowing my top, to be honest, and I informed him that purity ideals were bad for girls. I thought that we were on the same page about those topics, but he thinks that it is just a fun thing for girls to do and get dressed up. My husband claims that he wasn't trying to hide it from me, and he thought that I knew given how popular the purity ball is at their church. I put my foot down and texted mother in law to ask if she had signed Tess up. She said that she hadn't yet, and I made it clear that I would not allow it, period, ever. Mother in law sent back her usual stuff, implying that I'm a hoe. Oh my God. And who led her son down a bad road and that I'm an unfit mother. So, am I the asshole for forbidding this purity ball? The only reason I could be the asshole, in my opinion, is that I unilaterally decided against my husband's input, and I think that Tess will be disappointed. What do you think?
Well, I actually think it's a sneaky villain. I think it's the husband. He's the villain.
Thank you. The
I don't
husband.
think like mother-in-laws are gonna mother-in-law. I think you have to have like lower expectations. Like she's not the parent of your child. You are not co-parenting with your mother-in-law. So it's kind of your husband's fault for making his mom think that taking her to the purity ball was permissible, especially because he knew that his wife was going to feel shady about it.
But yeah, I'm like, he definitely didn't say that on purpose. Like he said, "Oh, I thought you knew," but I don't think so. I think he knew that his wife wouldn't love it. And that's why he was like kind of vague, like, "Oh, it's just a dance. The girls, they just get together."
Yeah, you have enough sense to know that that's something that you need to like have a conversation with your co-parent about before letting it happen. So, and like the mother-in-law, like while misguided, she's just going off of the cues she's getting from her son.
That's so true. You know what? I actually hadn't even thought about it from that perspective, but to be honest, she has no reason. Okay, well, she does become the asshole later when she implies that she's a hoe. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I will say, like, if the mom has been allowing her daughter to attend church services from home and has made this a weekly part of their routine to the point where even when COVID came, she was still going and sitting and watching the Zoom from the couch. I mean, like, it makes sense that the mother-in-law would think, "Well, you're not against this," or, that she would just think
Yeah,
that
she would just
there's
think
no
it's
problem.
implied. Like, "Oh, yeah, of course, this is like she signed on to this part, why wouldn't she sign on to that part?" I'm sure that I'm gonna leave the door wide open that the mother-in-law also has a sense that this isn't something that her daughter-in-law would allow, but ultimately, that's still the husband's fault, that's still the dad's fault.
Yeah. They
It's
should
still
try to be
like,
up front and
he should have
stick up.
backed his wife up.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, no, it's so cringe. It's crazy that they still do these. I had Azriel on, and her dad is Terry Crews, right?
Okay.
And they had a reality TV show growing up, and she had to go to a purity ball and, like, pledge her purity on national television. Like, it's crazy how common these things are, and that they're still
Yeah.
happening.
I somehow avoided it. I went to, like I did some, like, daddy-daughter dances. There was a Baptist church near our house that every Valentine's Day, they had a daddy-daughter dance, and that was, like, chill. Like, that was cute, it was fine, whatever. Um, I never I escaped going to a purity ball. So,
Yeah, luckily, neither did I. Me and my dad, we would go on, like, daddy-daughter dates and, like, go out to eat and stuff, and it was never weird. It was fine, but I don't know. When it comes to this purity stuff, I never understand, like, 1, I don't like the purity aspect at all because y'all know I'm just a purity culture hater, but on top of that, when it's the dads, I'm like, "If you're gonna do it, like, why isn't the mom?" I don't know. It's just odd. It's super odd. So,
it's about this it's the whole thing about, like, trading in, like, one master for another. Like, low key, like, that's kinda isn't it? I mean, it's like, you're going to the purity ball with your dad because, like, he's a witness to your pledge to remain pure, so until you go under another man's headship. Like, come on. Ugh.
it's very, very gross. It just reminded me of this comment that I got on YouTube yesterday. I did a video about how dads propose to their daughters, and this person commented. It said that the dad proposed in front of her now husband with the purity ring. Oh, it's so, so cringe. And yep, just super normal. So, also, she's 9. That's the other thing for
She's
me is
nine.
how can a 9-year-old consent to being like, "Yes, let's go get a $50 dress so that I can make this lifelong decision for myself."
Like, I don't even think most nine-year-olds don't really have, like, a full concept of what sex even is. I mean, especially in this subculture, people aren't talking to their nine-year-olds about sex.
Did your parents talk to you about sex?
So, the way that my mom talked to me about sex and stuff, not even really, but we were on a family vacation, and then I had, when I was, like, 12, and when we were on family vacation, I had been wearing bathing suits, and I was, like, starting to develop, and that was, like, obvious, and, we got in the car, and on the way home, we had 2 separate cars. My mom was like, "Why don't you ride with me?" And we got in the car, and she opens the conversation by being like, "Well, your dad has really noticed that you've been developing."
Shut up. That's
And
not
and she was like and it was, like, because she felt awkward about it, you know? So, like, this is how she led, and she was like, "And he's worried that you're not gonna know what to do about your period when it comes, and that he's gonna be alone with you, and then he's not gonna be able to help you, so he's freaking out and telling me that I need to talk to you about your period."
right now.
And that's what it was, and she was like, "So do you have any questions about anything else, like how babies happen, like how
So
sex"
did she explain periods right then? Or had y'all
she
already
was
talked
like
about that?
she's like, "Well, I think she was like, well, you know about your period, right?" And I was like, because some of my friends started getting their periods, like, I knew about it. So then she explained more of, like, the technical, like, why you have a period, like, what happens. And then, uh, I asked
Your
her
dad has been noticing. I can't
it was horrible. I couldn't look my dad in the face.
I believe it.
And it's like, I doubt that's how it went. I doubt, I bet my dad was just like, "Hey, like, have you talked to her?" Because like, I don't know. It's like,
Someone should probably talk to
someone
her.
someone should talk to her. It shouldn't be me. Oh, yeah. So that was it. That's all I got.
Oh my gosh, my mom, it was pretty crazy. She when it came to periods, they had to sign something saying that the school could inform us about periods. So she had signed this permission slip. And the night before, I knew she had signed a permission slip. I didn't know about what. And the night before, she was like, let's go to Las Palapas, like this Mexican restaurant, you and me. I was like, okay. So I get in the car and she's like, I have something very serious. I have to tell you. Your school is going to tell you tomorrow, but you should probably hear it from me, you know? And yeah, she proceeded to tell me that I was going to bleed out of my private place. And she did not explain any further. She just said it was going to happen for the rest of my life.
What a horrifying way to communicate that.
No, you're gonna be
Oh my
bleeding
God.
out of your private place. And yeah, and they're gonna talk to you more about it. And you can let me know if you have any questions, but that's something that we all deal with. And that's kind of what she said. So it was so funny. I went to school the next day. And before the assembly, my friends were like, "Do you know what this is about?" And I was like, "Actually, I do. Okay. I
They
know
let
this,
you in.
right? Let me let you in on this very adult secret." So, I told them that my mom told me that we were all gonna start bleeding out of our nipples. I did.
My God.
No, literally,
This is a great lesson
it is.
for adults about how to talk to your children about anatomy and calling things what they are. Oh my God.
Like, the proper terms because I was like, "Private place, my boobs." Like,
Yeah.
that's what we're
That's
talking
the
about.
first one I'm coming up with. Yeah.
My friends were horrified, horrified, and we all fully went in to that believing that I was right, and it was so funny when they started to explain, I was like, "Oh, shit, I
Oh,
was
the
wrong.
other
My bad.
one.
My bad, guys." I
Might be.
thought
That one's on me. Oh my gosh.
so bad. Yeah, but I never got a sex talk. No, I just learned everything from
Did you look it
purity
up?
culture.
Did you look it up in the dictionary?
No, probably
I
just
was
in
like,
school.
we had like a big Webster's dictionary at home, and I was looking up all the words.
Queen.
Um, yeah, I was like,
Good for you.
sex, penis, I
Let's
was like,
so what is that?
like, and then like closing it really quickly because I'm like, someone's gonna see me looking at sex in the dictionary. I don't know, whatever.
That's so funny. That reminds me of my
So it all turned
grandma.
out super great for me, and I had a super normal and healthy outlook on sex.
Very healthy. Of course, no consequences of this at all, right? Oh my gosh, my grandma, she was very funny. She very Christian, but I remember she told us, when you get married, sex is 80% mental. And we're gonna talk about this when you get married. Like it's all up here, right? And I'm like, I don't know why my grandma was giving me sex advice,
Uh-oh.
but she
Grandma was having
also
really bad sex.
well, she was like, you gotta get in. Well, actually, they were rocking, okay? My
Okay,
grandparents,
okay.
they were very in love, but I will say she told me that before she got married, nobody had talked to her about anything, and she said, "I went to the library and I checked out every single book about anatomy and sex," and she said, "I taught myself before the wedding." And
I
I'm like,
mean, this is why we
"Queen, I
have,
mean,
like,
that's Google."
this is, like, how you prevent teen pregnancy, is explaining sex accurately.
Yes. I don't think a lot of us got that, and I think if this mother-in-law had her way, this girl would never get that either. So, let's just not talk about it and call it a ball. Just dress up and promise your virginity right now.
If you're that 9-year-old girl and you're listening, follow up. We'd love to
Hope
know
you're
how
not
you're
listening.
doing.
Actually, this was a few years ago. You're right.
Yeah,
Maybe
like,
she
you're
is
a
listening.
teen now. How'd it turn out?
Yeah, let us know. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
I have some non-religious drama for
Alright,
you.
let's go.
This is also from Am I the Asshole? Would I be the asshole for suing my friend when she didn't come to my wedding?
Suing.
Suing for not coming to the
Okay.
wedding. So it says 25 female recently got married to my 25 male husband in Bali in January. It was a destination wedding, and my parents and his parents paid for their own plane tickets and hotel, but we paid for our friends' plane tickets and hotel stays, which I just have to say, good for them for that. Because these people who have destination weddings and they expect people to just be rich and do that,
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So each plane ticket was around $2,000 and the
Wow.
hotel was maybe about 150 to 300 for a week. My friend Gemma brought along her newlywed husband John, but he paid for his plane ticket. The problem is that Gemma and John did not show up to my wedding. Gemma took the free plane ticket to Bali and the hotel room. And when I asked why she didn't show up, she said that since they couldn't afford their own honeymoon, this was the perfect opportunity. And that Jim had decided that he didn't feel like going. I was really hurt by this since Gemma and I have been friends for over 10 years. Would I be the asshole if I took her to small claims court for the money that I spent on the plane ticket and the hotel?
So wait, they went
They
to
went and just
Bali
didn't
the
go.
wedding week, like the week of the wedding. They stayed at the same hotel as everyone else from the wedding, and then they didn't participate in the wedding.
Yeah, and probably not any of the festivities before because typically
Or
they
is
do
it
a
supposed to
rehearsal
be like,
dinner.
is it implied that they like went on the trip at a different time? They just used the airfare credit in the hotel. Because
Don't know. It just says that he didn't. I think maybe it says later that he didn't feel like going. I'll read that in the update later because we do have updates.
okay.
But
I mean,
imagine not going.
the thing is, I totally get the impulse to sue, but I don't think you have the ability to sue because there's nothing in writing. You never had a contract. Essentially it was a gift. So I don't know if you would be I'm with you, but I think we can come up with a better solution than suing. I
What's the
think
solution?
you sabotage. I think
Drag her.
I think you pay an Etsy witch to cast a spell on her. I think
They did away with that. Did you hear about that?
no, what?
The Etsy witches were so mad because they took it away where you can't curse somebody. Like
On Etsy or just in general?
I
Probably on
think
Etsy.
Etsy.
Okay,
Like you
because
can't
I paid a
pay.
witch recently for
Oh.
not to curse anyone. I'm too afraid of that. But I I did pay a
Love.
witch to help me get a job and it worked. Period. But
Period. You do what you have to do in this
you do
economy.
what you have to do. But I'm saying, like, I think suing isn't gonna work out. So I think what you do is you, do things that are, make prank her. I don't know, do pranks. Do, like oh,
This is
d
the
set up,
best
like, a
response.
set up, like, a phishing scheme and, get your money back, scam her back. I think she deserves revenge. I think you should get your money
Scam her
back,
back is hilarious.
but I don't think you're gonna do it through small claims court.
I feel that.
I think you
Mhm.
could don't anonymize this online. Go public with it. Dox her. This is
Dogs.
I'm like,
That
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, this is the energy I
You're like,
bring.
hire a witch and dox her.
Yeah, literally. Period.
Well, you know what you could do? You could sign her phone number up for a ton of scam
The
calls.
J-dubs, you can sign them up
Yes.
for Scientology. Unless you think, well, easy. Unless you think that Gemma is actually susceptible to Scientology or Jehovah's Witness or whatever. But,
Yeah, then
if you
maybe not.
sign up one time I signed up my friend's father-in-law for the Jehovah's Witness emails because they never lose your emails, and he was being really mean to her. So,
Oh
I'll
my
do
gosh,
it.
that's so funny.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing, original poster, I think if it was just a hotel stay, you have to let that go. It's under $1,000. But I think the airfare, that yeah.
I agree. That's pretty crazy. Oh, the Jehovah's Witness thing, I have to say, there was a time when I was at Brand's mom's house and I was on the treadmill in the garage. Okay, so I'm in the garage door open, and they literally came around the side of the house and came up behind me and they were like, hello, and scared the ever loving shit out of me. Like it was absolutely terrifying. But apparently she's very nice to them. So they've like come back. Or apparently there was a nice lady who used to come, but now she's in their registry. Like
Have you ever had a Jehovah's Witness on Heel Dish?
funny, you should ask. People will think we planned this. I am recording with someone this weekend.
OMG. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear that. Because
Have
I
you
know a few.
followed him? His page is disfellowshipped. Is that his name?
Mm-mm, I don't I'll look into
Yeah.
him. I have a friend, like a former colleague who, is a former Jehovah's Witness, and She has a crazy story. She's left the Jehovah's Witnesses now. She's, come out as a lesbian. She got married, she's like I mean, she got married and raised kids within Jehovah's Witnesses, and, when her kids were, adults, she finally left and, um,
Oh my gosh,
married a
send her my
woman.
way. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've been wanting one of the reasons I reached out to him was because I was like, I always hear crazy stories, and yeah, I haven't had anybody on who
And you
was
don't get to
like,
celebrate any holidays.
I know I had a friend. Oh, this was so funny. I had a friend growing up, and she always had an end of the year party. So
Uh-huh.
it would be at her mom's house, end of the year party, but it just so happened to be the week of her birthday. And her mom was Jehovah's Witness and she wasn't. So she was never allowed to celebrate her birthday. But all of us eighth graders knew that this was really her birthday in disguise. So we used to bring her presents and sneak in presents for
Oh
her.
my
Isn't
gosh.
that so sad?
That
You
is really
know,
sad. But
because it just wasn't allowed.
I bet she's, in some therapist's office talking about how nice that was that you did that.
Yeah, she is actually the best. I knew her quite a lot, yeah, when I was in middle school, we were pretty close. She was also the friend that I tried to grow out her leg via prayer at a party, and, we were convinced we did it. You should have seen us. It was like spiritual psychosis happening. We were all like, "We did it! God grew out her leg," and then she wrote me
She had,
recently and
one
was
leg that
like,
was significantly shorter than the other.
yes. Well, okay, it wasn't even significant. This was just such a thing at Bethel where they were like, if somebody has back problems or knee problems, one leg is clearly longer than the other. So they would tell you, put out your legs and check. And we thought we saw that one was an inch shorter. So at my birthday party, before I went off to Bethel, we're
Mm.
like praying over her legs. And yeah, she wrote me a couple months ago on TikTok and she was like, I just wanted to let you know that one leg is still longer than the other.
That's hilarious.
Like, it didn't work.
Um, yeah, I in one of my, kids camps growing up, church camps growing up, there was, a kid at our camp who had cerebral palsy, and he, walked with a walker, and are you familiar with, Master's Commission?
Okay, I've heard about it, but I
Okay.
don't know that much.
It's crazy. Someone reached out to me the other day who was former Master's Commission. I think there's, a documentary about it now. But anyways, we had some of their interns at our camp for some reason. It's very Bethel adjacent. It's very similar vibes, okay? And they were praying over this kid to basically be able to walk, and he could kind of walk without the walker, but then essentially they just took his walker away.
In
And
faith,
and
Abigail?
and he, was kind of walking, so everyone was like, "It's this huge miracle, oh my god." But now looking back, I'm like, "That was crazy ableist."
Absolutely,
What's wrong with him not being able to walk? Why can't what's wrong with people who don't have the full use of their legs?
and taking his walker. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I told you what I do for my job, but I fit people for power chairs, wheelchairs, and gait trainers and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So now I look back on my Bethel
Former
days
you
like
would be like, what you're doing is, against it's like
it would be like, "Why aren't you healing them? What are you doing?" And when I look back now, it's so cringe because there was a time where I didn't do it, but it was at IHOP. They had their
uh,
One Thing conference, and there was a girl, she was getting prayer for hours in the middle of the auditorium. Like, this was everybody, all eyes on her. And she took a few steps, and everybody freaked out and thought that she had been healed. And then now with my job, I'm like 70% of the people that I get wheelchairs for can walk 5 steps, like, easily, like,
yeah,
a
that's
lot of them can.
it's
So
not full paralysis. It's like, okay, you can't function in life without a chair.
yeah, you can't go through your ADLs, like, without it? So it's just kinda frustrating to be like, those times that we thought something was really happening, it's like, no, they were probably walking a few steps so that we would shut up. I don't even know how we got on this.
I know.
Okay, let's go back because I actually didn't even think about the fact that you're right, I don't know that she would be successful in a court of law. Like, can
I
you
don't
prove
I
that?
don't think that she would because they didn't have a contract. So it's just hearsay at that point because then Gemma could be like, "Well, it was a gift. She gifted us this airfare and the thing, whatever." And there was no contingency upon which we had to accept the gift. So that's
Unless
why I'm
she has
saying I don't
verbal contract.
I think
Of
depends on
like,
what
this
state
is
this happened
for the
in.
wedding.
I
Yeah,
think,
that's
like,
true.
in Texas, you're allowed to do that shit. I don't know, handshake agreement or whatever.
Yeah,
But
maybe that's why I think that I'm from Texas.
yeah,
Like, duh.
I'm pretty sure it's like a gentleman's word in Texas is like is law. Anyways,
Absolutely.
um, but yeah, okay, so what happened?
Okay, so we have an update. They said, I messaged Gemma per multiple comments advising me to invoice her for the plane ticket and hotel room, but I did something a little better. I wanted to get proof, so if I did go to court, it would be easier to win. So I messaged her and said, Hey, sorry for being so distant. I just want to talk about Bali. I'm hurt that you didn't show up to the ceremony. I pulled a lot of strings to ensure that you could come, and then you didn't show up. Did you think that I paid for the trip just so that you could honeymoon with John? And she replied, I've missed you a lot, and I know that the trip was for your wedding, but John didn't want to go because he felt like it ruined the illusion of the trip being our honeymoon, and he thought that you would understand. I replied, No.
What?
Yeah, like it ruins the illusion to attend a wedding for a few hours on your free honeymoon. It's crazy. I replied and said, No, I don't understand. You took
I
advantage of
don't
me.
understand. No, I don't.
And that's not what real friends do. So I am invoicing you $2,387.53 for the cost of the plane ticket and hotel room. I will give you 30 days, and after that, I will be taking legal action. I received no response, but she's been posting subliminal quotes on Instagram along the lines of how hard it is to have entitled friends and having snakes in your life. Yeah, petty. There's another update. Do you want the
Okay.
update? Absolute
Well, let me
insanity.
think really quick.
Yeah,
How long can you see, like, how long after the first update, the second date update was posted? Because I wanna try and guess what happened.
it doesn't say, unfortunately.
I think Gemma didn't block her, or no, sorry, that Gemma didn't pay it. She blocked her everywhere, and she's not gonna be able to take her to small claims court. That's what I think.
You think that's what the update is? It's even crazier than that. Okay. So, update number 2. I didn't think that this could get worse, but here we are. I didn't respond to any of the subliminal messages she posted about me on social media, and I've been very quiet while getting my ducks in a row for litigation. But this past Friday, she sent me a 3-page audit of financial and emotional contributions from 2015 to present. I wish
What?
I was fucking joking. Yeah, and we have the audit.
Like, friendship?
Yes, friendship audit of how much she feels like she is owed throughout her friendship.
Oh,
So the audits. She itemized every dinner or lunch that we've ever eaten at. She estimated $18 per meal. Gas money for driving to and from hangouts, a birthday gift from 2017 that she now claims that she went in debt for, time spent emotionally supporting me after my dad passed. She said she took on the role of a grief counselor
what?
for me, even though I talked to her on the phone about it once for 30 minutes. One time she helped me move apartments and she wants to be paid for labor and emotional distress caused by me threatening litigation. For grand total, $1,412.09, which is conveniently within $25 of what I invoiced her. She then told me that if we're really keeping score, I owe her $24.56. I think I stared at the document for 10 minutes in silence, in shock and from the audacity of her. Wow, that's pretty crazy. And to clarify additional info, I never asked her to cook for me when I was in college. She did pay for lunches, but I definitely returned the favor big time when I graduated. I bought her many gifts throughout the years. I've let her stay at my house several times when she and John argued, and I have lended a shoulder for her to cry on when she had difficult times in life. But apparently, being a good friend is now billable. I decided to give the message a thumbs down because if I respond,
I love that. I love that original poster. That is so much better than giving someone the finger. Like, giving someone a thumbs down is, like, the best insult. It is
it is just
delicious.
feel like this is not worth it. So I decided to give the message a thumbs down because if I will respond, I will be extremely disrespectful with the anger that I'm facing. I cannot wait for these 30 days to be over because I will be suing the fuck out of her. Oh my god, that's
So did she
crazy.
sue her? Any other update?
That's the last update.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I wish
crazy.
we had the original poster's name so I could see, like, search records. I'm so
Yeah,
nosy, I wanna
like,
know.
did you do it? Did you
Did you
not do
do
it?
it?
Wow, that's
I
insane.
mean,
I don't think it's gonna be successful, though.
I don't think it's gonna be successful either. However, I think that the only way it could be successful is if she really does, like she gets a letter from an attorney, the attorney sends it to Gemma, and Gemma gets freaked out enough that she asks a relative who has 2 grand to, like, help her out.
Mhm. Actually, you know what I just thought too? Actually, maybe it could be successful because Gemma sent that long list and saying like,
Uh,
"Well, now you owe me $25," which it kind of implies that you know that you do owe her that, and you're giving your counterbalance, so we canceled each other out.
well, and also Gemma kinda screwed herself over when she sent the email or text or whatever talking about how John didn't wanna go to the wedding because it would ruin the illusion of their honeymoon, because now in writing, you're admitting you have culpability for, like, not going, for, like, using the airfare and not going to the wedding. Any lawyers listening, slide through, what do you think?
Yeah, let us know. I'm very curious, but that blew my mind because I read the title. They always do this on Am I the Asshole? I read the title and I'm like, yeah, you would be if you sued your friend for not going to your wedding. And then you read it and you're like, oh, actually, I
No.
don't know. No,
Nope.
kind of valid.
But here's what I have to say to the original poster. Your first mistake was having a wedding in Bali and asking your friends, like, you have to know. I mean, surely there were signs before this that Gemma wasn't the best friend, right? Surely there's been at least something. So you know, you've asked someone who maybe you can't fully trust to come to Bali with you for your wedding. I think if you're gonna get married in Bali, you need to elope. That's my opinion.
Hmm. No, I get that. Or the parents already paid their way. You know, if she
Yeah.
can come, she can come. But to front that money, to be fair, how could she have known though that this girl would come and not even go to the wedding? Like, I feel like even as just on a friend level, I can't imagine not going if you're in the same city.
No,
That's
the thing that I don't
wild.
get is being at the hotel
Yeah.
with all of the other wedding guests
Just go downstairs. You know,
and
it's like
not go,
right
like,
there.
you didn't go to the rehearsal dinner, you didn't go to, like, you showed up the morning of to get ready and you, like, everyone's showing up and you're not there, but it's like, you don't have an excuse. Like, you're at the hotel.
Was she
I
not concerned about ruining the bride's day? Because
I
can you
don't think she
imagine?
was. I don't think she was. I think she's thinking about
Yeah.
herself only.
I'd be like, "My friend's dead or she's a horrible person," because where is she? I mean, imagine getting ready on your wedding day and you're by yourself. That sucks.
After you paid $2,000 for your friend to come out.
Horrible. Horrible, horrible. Okay. Are you ready for the next one? This one is from Am I Wrong? So
Okay.
let's see if we're wrong. Am I wrong for cutting off my brother after he told our whole family what I said about his wife in private?
Okay.
So I'm a 28 male. My brother Jake, 32, and his wife have been together for about 6 years. And honestly, I've never really warmed up to her. She's not a bad person, but she has this thing where she constantly makes everything about herself. Like
Hmm.
you cannot share anything without her steering the conversation back to her own experiences. I mentioned this to Jake maybe 8 months ago in what I thought was a private conversation. We were on a walk, just the two of us, and he asked me directly if I ever had an issue with her. And I was honest. I told him that I find her exhausting sometimes and that being around her for long periods of time drains me. He said he appreciated my honesty and we moved on, or so I thought. Fast forward to last month, I'm at a family lunch and my aunt casually brings up that she heard that I don't like Jake's wife.
Wow.
I froze. Over the next hour, it came out that Jake had basically told everyone, his parents, our aunt, and two cousins. The version that he told was also slightly warped. Like he apparently said that I called her toxic, which I never said. And I pulled him aside and he just shrugged and said that I should have kept my opinions to myself if I didn't want them to be repeated. He seemed almost satisfied and it felt weirdly calculated. I left early, and since then, I've been civil but kept real distance. He's been texting me a few times saying that I'm being over dramatic and that I should apologize to his wife. I haven't responded, and our mom thinks that I should just smooth things over, but I don't think that I did anything that warrants an apology. Am I wrong?
I actually have no idea if the wife is annoying or not, but that's not the point. Like, she very like, given the evidence of this story, I think she could be or she couldn't be. The evidence to support is because the guy who wrote this thinks that she is. The evidence against is that all of the family members seem to be, like, on her side or, like, at least neutral. Here's my thing, original poster. I think you didn't take into effect take into account, like, nothing you say to your brother is in confidence. He's gonna tell his wife. That's kind of the deal, right? Is like,
Isn't it? I feel like it really like, unless my friends come to me and they say, "Don't tell Brandon." Like, if someone were really like, "Please don't tell Brandon," I won't tell their business, but whenever I tell a secret to my friends, I always say, "Don't tell anyone, but you can tell your partner."
mhm.
I always say that because 'cause I'm like,
Yeah,
"I
but
know
what
you're
if
gonna tell them." Like,
what if what if like, would you tell Brandon if somebody told you they didn't like him? If your
yeah,
sibling?
it's happened.
Yeah. No, exactly, I would too.
Not
Like,
not with
I'm
a sibling, but with a friend. I had a friend who didn't quite like him the first time they met. They like each other fine now, but it was of course I told him. I was like, "Yeah, that hurt my feelings. They don't like you."
yeah, I mean, I think here's what I think. Unless there's, like, a big issue, like abuse, violence, addiction, something like that. Like, take all that stuff, like, where the person, like, who's married to them is, like, maybe in danger or you're worried they're being manipulated or something like that. Separate that. If it's just, like, a personal preference, like, you just don't vibe, you needed to say that before they got married. Like, you needed to say that before they got married, because now they're married, and she's more important than you, bro, I'm sorry. And I think he did the right thing by telling his wife. I'm a big wife guy, I think.
I
I
love
think
that. No, it's
I
so
think that his
true.
allegiance is to his wife, not to you.
Yeah, I do think it's weird that he went and told the whole family.
Yeah.
You know, I maybe this is a kinda like everyone sucks a little bit because I don't think he needed to go and do that. Him telling his wife, though, I'm like, "Yeah, of course." I don't know,
Him telling
she's
his wife,
probably picked it
understandable.
up.
Him telling their aunt, no.
Yeah, I'm like, "Okay, that's a little dramatic," to the point where the aunt is now getting involved. But I wonder if the wife has been like, imagine she's probably like, "I feel like your brother doesn't like me." You know, she can probably pick up on vibes and what, he's supposed to hear
Also,
that and
she
not?
might be a yapper. Like, she could be somebody who brings
They
everything back
do
to her,
exist.
but I also think what you can do is talk to her directly about it. I think that's allowable. I don't know. So I think everyone's a little wrong.
I feel that. Yeah. I think it also, like you said, comes down to personal preference. And it's kind of like, well, you're not married to her. You know, I mean, like, you don't have to, it's fine if she's not your favorite person in the world. But I think we had read a submission once from somebody who said that they didn't like their partner's boyfriend, but there was nothing in it that made the guy a bad guy. Like, other than, like you said, like, there's no abuse. If there's no any of that, it's kind of like at some point you have to realize that people pick their partners and I don't know, it doesn't have to be your cup of tea if he's not bothered and good
Also, no one's
person.
asking you to say, like, "Oh my god, I think so and so is the best person ever." I mean, it's like sometimes my friends tell me stuff about their partners, and it's like, man, I would never put up with that. But like,
So
or
real.
like, oh, that would drive me crazy. But like,
And then I
it,
go to Brandon.
yeah, but it's not hurting them. Like, like they're okay. This is a choice they've made, and like everyone has to deal with some stuff in their relationship. And then I come home and I'm like telling Zach, damn, like I'm telling him, like, I cannot believe I can never do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure people are doing that about me too.
Well, I think everybody does that. I do that with Brandon. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank goodness." Or I'll see videos on social media and I'll be like, "Oh my god, thank God you're not like some of these people," you
I
know?
know.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I think
know.
original poster is wrong for being naive enough to think that he wasn't gonna tell his wife. I think his brother was wrong for telling everyone else in the family, and I think the mom is wrong for saying that they should just smooth it over.
Yeah. Well, actually, I looked at the title again and it's saying, "Am I wrong for cutting my brother off?" So do you think that
Oh.
What do you think should happen here? Like, how does everybody move on from this?
I mean, I think that if you are not okay, if you can't handle the fact that your brother did that, then, sure, stop chilling with him. That's up to you. Like, I don't think that's not what I would do, but if it
I
really
think they
bothers you
could
that
talk it
much,
out.
yeah,
They could try.
they could definitely try and talk it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, forever, that feels a lot. I feel like maybe you guys could chat, but I mean, we don't know the whole relationship. There could be more. This reminds me of there was this situation. Oh, I think I've told it before, but it was so crazy. It was like a throwdown in my family. So I had just started dating Bran and I was obsessed with him. I think I'd been together with him maybe 9 months at this
Uh-huh.
point, but I had got together with him pretty soon after my ex. So I had this very, very religious family member who I actually don't talk to anymore because of the whole maid of honor situation and
Mhm.
all of that. But um, she had made a comment that was so mean. Like, we had gotten our pictures taken in Atlanta when we went to go visit my friends, and my friend is a photographer, and she ended up shooting our wedding. So we had gotten these pictures done, and apparently this family member who I had really just met, she was married into the family, so I
Mhm.
didn't feel like she has a right to say stuff like this, like, I've only known you a couple months, you know?
Mhm.
And she told my sisters in, like, a really snarky way, like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe these, like, pictures with, Jubilee and Brandon? It's like she's just trying to replace Ted." I know, it's so mean.
Wow.
And she told this to my sisters as if my sisters aren't gonna have my back. My sisters are my best friends, and they were like, "Ooh, this
Ooh,
girl who just married into the
that's
family."
not
And she was like, "Oh, she's just trying to replace him." And it was and also she was still following my ex on social media, which really bothered me because I was like, "This guy almost killed me," and it's super weird to me that you're following him. I don't understand that. So we had this thing where we all got into it. Like, I got mad at her, and then she's very fiery, and she was just, like, yelling, and it was a lot. And we all got together in our house, and we had a throwdown where we were like, "We're not leaving this room until we figure out what we're gonna do." And man, I don't yell, but I yelled, and she yelled, and our husbands were there, like, my cousin
oh
was
my
there. It was
gosh.
my cousin's wife, so my cousin was there, and Bran was there at the time, and they were, like, trying to mediate as we,
Oh,
like, went at it a bit, and I at the time, I think I was like, "I've had a really hard year, and, like, it's not nice to feel like people in my own circle are talking bad about me," and she said, "We have all had hard years." Like like
my god, girl.
yeah, it was wild. She actually since apologized for that. She really realized how messed up that was, and I think she's grown as a person quite a lot, but she was a part of our bride she ended up being a part of our bridal party, because we did make up and we were friendly, but then, of course, the maid of honor situation happened with, like,
Mhm.
all of that, and then it all fell apart again, but it's like,
Wow.
sometimes personalities, like I think it's worth a last ditch effort of him trying to talk to his brother and realizing, maybe we'll communicate and it'll just be we're really mad and maybe nothing will be solved, but I feel like they should
Yeah. I think
try.
I think that he needs to decide how much the sister-in-law really bothers him because she's not going anywhere. He the obviously
He
he
hates her though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like if it's not that big of a deal, like if it's just like she's kind of annoying sometimes, then you just have to suck it up.
which valid I mean,
Sorry.
some people are annoying, like, I don't know, like
Yeah, and like sometimes there's annoying people in your family, like almost always.
almost
So,
always. But yeah, I had this aunt, she would always corner us and talk to us for like, my great aunt, she would talk to us for, like, an hour and a half. She would just give the same speech every time we hung out. She was so sweet. She loved talking about mental health, but she would always give us a lecture on mental health every time we got together, and it was this funny thing of, like, don't be in a corner with her because you'll be stuck there for, like, half
for
of
like
the event.
yeah.
We'll be like, "We talked about this last time." She's so sweet,
Yes.
but yeah.
Like,
Oh my
look,
god.
there's an amount that you just have to deal with. But, like, if she's personally offended you, if you really feel like she's well, I don't know what to the extent that it is, but I guess the original poster needs to make the decision, like, how badly she really impacts him
Yeah,
because she's not going
totally.
anywhere.
All right, are you ready to jump into the listener overshare moment?
Yes.
Okay. So I just got this DM 10 minutes before we hopped on here, and I was
Okay.
like, this is absolutely insane. So, speaking of religion, all right, this person said, I saw your video on if the church protects abusers, and absolutely they do. When I was 9 years old, I was going to this church, and they had a program called Kids Night Out, where on Saturday night you could drop your kids off and they would teach your kids about Jesus, the whole thing. Well, they separated us by age, and once you were 13, you aged out and you became a helper. So there was this 14-year-old boy who was a helper, and he was genuinely so insane towards me, and I think he had issues. I would go there every Saturday, and he was always there, and he'd always give me a strange talk where he would harass me and tell me that he talked to God, and God told him I was going to be his wife when I was 9 years
Wow.
old. By the way, this guy's 14 and she's 9 years old. He's saying that. And even at the time, I knew that that was absolutely insane and I hardly believed him. And I remember that the church leaders eventually got involved and got mad at me like
What?
I did something wrong. Insane at a 9-year-old. Like, because I don't know why, just because they're having a romantic, which it's not even romantic. This person is a child. I don't even know. Got mad at me like I was doing something wrong and how I was going to go to hell. And they started saying how I was ruining him because I developed early and I was now a woman tempting him and that I didn't know how tempting my body was. I was so upset by that that I genuinely thought that I was going to hell and I never told my parents until I was his age and when I finally did, my mom was beyond pissed. Not at me, but at the church. And by that time, I had stopped going there. But the best part is that I started going to a private charter school. And when I got there, I met a girl around my age who said that she had been there the year prior and that he did the exact same thing to her.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
It's concerning because it's also like, where did this 14-year-old boy learn that? Like
Ooh.
he saw
Like, where's
someone
he
else.
hearing that language?
Yeah, because he's only 14 too, like, so that has been modeled to him at some point, and it's made him think that it's okay to do that, and it's okay to.
Well, it's so sad that she felt like which understandable, felt like she couldn't tell her parents. It's like so often you hear these insane things happening in youth, like the sexual youth group games that I always read and stuff. And people don't say anything because it's like, I don't know. I think there's a mixture of you just trust the environment that you're in. You trust, especially when you're a kid, you don't know that you should be looking out for anything like
Mhm.
that. Um, but also when you have these leaders telling a 9-year-old that you're going to hell for tempting a 14-year-old boy, I mean, of course, you don't wanna go tell your parents that you did something bad because 'cause you're pretty much saying, "I got in trouble," and of course, you don't wanna tell your parents that you got in trouble.
Patriarchy is a disease.
It is. Hate it. Hate it, and I hate that I have hundreds of those DMs, like, it's
That's
horrible.
wild.
Horrible,
That's
horrible
wild.
stories. Alright, on that happy note
Hey, I'm glad you healed. I'm glad you healed.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad they're out of that situation. It's crazy. But do you want to jump into your overshare moment? You can share about anything you want.
Okay, I was thinking about this. I This is gonna sound so tame, but I have dog park drama.
I'm so
So,
excited.
yeah. So, it's not okay, there's a park in my neighborhood. It is not a dog park. There is kind of this unofficial understanding in the neighborhood that if you go early in the morning, there's like 2 different fields, like grassy areas where people have their dogs off leash. And the people who have their dogs off leash, it's like their dogs have great recall and they're friendly and it's whatever. And it really is only in the morning because it's before all the kids get there and all the activities and whatever else is going on. Anyways, there is this guy who comes to the park and he has 2 golden doodles. And I don't think there's anything wrong with golden doodles, but I think I am prejudiced against golden doodle owners. This guy, I have many problems with him. First of all, he constantly has his AirPods in. Like, I've never seen him at the park not having, like, a loud, important work conversation, and I, can only assume that he works at, like, the NSA or something like that, because it's like, why is your job so important? You always have to be on the phone? He's always on the
He's
phone and
taking
not
work calls at the dog park?
yes, and he's not paying attention to his dogs, okay? And the dogs are just running free. They are not staying in the grassy areas. They're running there's, like, a playground part. They're running through the playground. They're running up to the woods. There's a daycare that, like it's like a city-run daycare program that's, like, on the same property as the park, and there's, like, parents who are, like, unloading their kids and, like, taking them into the daycare. The dogs, like, run up to them, and then he's just, like, screaming their names, and his dogs run up to on-leash dogs, which is a big no-no because a lot of on-leash dogs, like, they are on the leash because they don't really like other dogs, and so the understanding here is if you're gonna have your dog off the leash, they need to be, like, good listeners. Anyways, this guy's pissing me off. They also run up to other people's dogs and, like, bark, and they don't wanna play, and they're just like
And he's
anyways,
unbothered.
he's living in his own world. He's more important than everyone else. And one of these days, I'm gonna, like, confront him. It's like building, it's building. He also lives down the road from me, and he never takes care of his dogs either because his dogs are always outside. They're always barking every time someone walks by. I feel bad for them. And, yeah, he's my nemesis.
He doesn't
Everyone nee
know it, but
everyone
he
needs a
is.
nemesis for character development and plot. He is mine, and,
Do it for the plot. You gotta say something. Write a note
I'm gonna
or
have to interrupt his very important AirPod conversation.
tap on his shoulder. Be like, we have beef, if you didn't know. I've been feeling
Because
this for a
here's the
long
thing,
time
he's
now.
gonna ruin it for everyone. That's
Yeah,
the thing. He's going to ruin the delicate balance that the neighbors in my neighborhood have created where we
yeah.
have this unofficial understanding. People can come in the morning. It only works if people play correctly, and he's gonna ruin it. No, he's lived on the street from me the whole time I've lived here. He just, like, recently started bringing his dogs to the park.
Got it. And they're not puppies?
Anyways oh, they're like adults.
Frustrating. What dog do you have?
I have, she's like a little mutt. I'm looking behind me. Let's see if I can find a picture for you. She's like a black pit bull mix kinda dog. Let's see. This is her.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
That's Bonnie,
Bonnie is the best name ever.
and her
I'm
nickname is Bonald.
obsessed. Donald. Oh my
Yes.
that's so cute.
Her
And you said
nickname is Bonald.
right?
Huh?
Say she's like a year old?
Yeah, she was a year in October, so November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, 17 months.
Yeah, you gotta make him stop so that he doesn't ruin it for Bonnie.
I know, and Bonnie, like, she's so sweet and she's so friendly and she loves other dogs. She does not fuck with those dogs. Like, she's not mean to them, but she sees them come over and she comes over next to me because she's like,
She's like, "These are bad dogs,
"They're
okay?"
being bad." She
Don't they
knows.
know the program? Don't
I
they get
know.
it?
I know. She's too good for this world. Anyways, okay, what's your overshare? I can't wait to hear.
My goodness. Ooh, I'm gonna choose depression. Okay, no, I'm gonna choose something different. I'm like, yours was so fun. No, okay. I have been struggling this week. I made a video. So y'all already saw me cry on the internet.
I
Okay.
saw this video. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I saw someone, I'm vague on purpose, saw
Mhm.
someone, and I don't know. I've noticed since deconstructing, there's just this lack of eye contact that people have with you. And it's so painful, because I think, I don't know, with this person that I saw, I'll give him a fake name. I'll give him the name George. Okay, George. I thought things have been weird with George, but I thought, okay, maybe it's all in my head. You want to convince yourself that it's never that bad, but it was just so bad. It was this feeling of I felt like he didn't really want to talk to me, and I've always been the one to keep conversations going with like a lot of people. I'm pretty good at asking questions and keeping it rolling.
Yeah.
And there was just no effort on that side at all, and I think it's just hard realizing that things are changing and that they might stay that way. I mean, I don't know how things would go back to how things were before, and it almost feels like when you deconstruct, people they like look at you like you're not worth talking to anymore. Like honestly, like you're not really worth talking to or engaging with anymore. Like you're kind of a lost cause, or they just seem so disconnected. And it's very strange because you're still a human, I mean,
Or, like, you're dangerous in some way.
yes.
I
I
went
feel
through
like
this with
that's
my
part of it.
dad. Like, when my now husband and I, moved to California together, we had already been living together, um, before we moved, but I never really, like, advertised that, to my dad. I wasn't purposely hiding it, I just didn't bring it up. But when we moved together, it became very obvious that we were living together, and I went through that with him where he basically didn't talk to me aside from, like, small talk pleasantries, like, here and there. And, when I finally confronted him about it, he was like, "I feel like I don't know you anymore." And I understood how, like, I get how scared he must be because I understand what it's like to have that worldview. But, I told him, like, "You don't need to be sad for me. You don't need to be scared for me." Like, yeah, but it does suck. I mean, it does feel like by choosing your own liberation, sometimes you have to, like, you give up. Like, "Oh, your love was conditional."
Ugh. Wait, I feel like that's the hard thing is that
"Oh, you didn't really love me the whole time."
no, and I feel like I don't know. I've always thought we were close, but then you start to think, well, are we close because of a similar worldview? And then once that's gone, it's like, oh, actually, I'm not really interested. And I think what sparked all of this was that you guys know I do my rapture videos. I need to make another one because I keep seeing hilarious rapture videos where they're like, people are about to disappear and you need to know that it's not aliens. I just keep
Mhm.
seeing those on my For You page. Um, but I had made a bunch of satire rapture videos, and I think what happened is that maybe George he's kind of on end times YouTube. Like, I know that, and I know that he really likes talking about the end times and the tribulation, and apparently a bunch of people were taking my satire video and they were putting it on YouTube as if it was real, and I think people thought I was being serious, like, people who couldn't pick up on the sarcasm, and I think maybe he saw it, and he has avoided my social media, like, he has specifically told me, "I'm not gonna look at like, I don't wanna know." But I wonder if it came there because I feel like it was around that time. It was around the time that I had a bunch of those, like, viral videos about the rapture when everyone
Mhm.
thought it was happening, and I think maybe it made its way to his side, and he knows me. He knows I don't think the rapture is about to happen, so, like, I almost feel like
Is
maybe that's part
George
of it.
is George one of those people who thinks that and you may choose to cut this out, but is George one of those people who thinks that, like, the Israel-Gaza genocide situation is, like, hastening the end times?
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. And oh gosh, the
That's
amount
really
of video.
tough. That's really
Yes.
tough.
Well, like, I don't know how much longer we have. We gotta stockpile food, those sorts of things, and it's hard because I think you're right when you say, like, it's discomfort, but it's also fear. There's a lot of fear of they're scared for me, um, but I think some of it and maybe this is just me, worst case scenario, but I kinda think I'm right. I feel like part of it is, like, disgust too, because especially, like, a satire video, I think that there's this level of, like,
It's
how
like
d
hurting your pride.
yeah, like, how dare you joke about
Oh, yeah. Like,
like, that's
this isn't yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah. Dude, have you ever read I don't remember what the new, like, modern adaptation of it is, but have you read Codependent No More?
You know what? I'm trying to think. I went on a self-help spree in 2019. I feel like maybe you know what? No, I didn't read it, but it's on my bookshelf. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's
It's on
called
my bookshelf.
okay, so I think there's, like, a modernized version of it maybe, but And I will give like a big warning that Melody, so the author Melody Beattie, she does believe, she's religious, she believes in God, and so she like uses the term God and like but higher power a lot in the book. But she was married to an alcoholic, and book is about like her journey to like letting go of codependency. And that helped me a lot with like I realized some of the codependent behaviors I had where I was like, well, I can't be at peace or happy if like my family members aren't happy or aren't doing well or they're not pleased with me. Like it's like, okay, like if I have to depend on someone else being okay for me to be okay, then I'm not okay.
Ooh, that's
Um
so real. I feel like
yeah.
that's one of the biggest things I'm learning because I've always wanted to be the overachiever or be seen in a good light. So
Mhm.
having that shatter in such a quick and disappointing way is rough. But I think that's the other thing I've just been realizing too is that I'm looking at myself and realizing I'm 31 years old. I cannot keep living for the opinions of like approval. At some point, I'm 31, I'm a grown adult, and I am trying to really let go of those codependent that codependent
It's really
nature
hard.
of like, I have to make everyone happy, you know? It's
Yeah,
rough.
at the expense of your own happiness? No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I am proud of myself. I haven't let it stop me from doing anything I'm doing. Like, I still do it. I just have much discomfort. But I'm hoping that with time, I feel like in a way it was sad the meeting that we had, but it's also kind of a necessary part of my healing to realize, okay, that's what it is. I think it was like kind of confirming for me to realize, okay, the dynamic is this. And now I just need to learn to, I don't know, be okay with that and accept it,
Yeah,
for what it
hugs.
is.
It's really
Thank
hard.
you.
And I think, maybe you're in a unique position to be able to like contextualize it and be like, yeah, well, I know what it's like to I find that for myself. Like I know what it's like to be in the mindset of believing the rapture is about to happen. Right. So if I put that back on, okay, yeah, now it's making sense. Like it's not an excuse for like treating you poorly, but it's like, okay, I understand from their point of view, like unfortunately this belief system is keeping us separate. They are also to an extent, like they are victims. They're like, when I was deep into evangelicalism, like I was a victim and a perpetrator. Like I was both at the same time. And George is the same, like a victim of this belief system and letting it impact their relationship with you.
Mhm. No, that's so true. Because I look at some of these people, not just George, but other people I know who are, like, still so caught up in it, and they're unhappy in a lot of areas, so it's frustrating, but then on the other hand, I don't know. I mean, I do feel that it's coming from a genuine place. Like you said, it doesn't make it okay, but it is coming from a genuine place of this is the belief. And like, what a horrible time for Jubilee to fall away when the rapture is tomorrow. Like, I
Yeah,
wish
or
the
maybe
rapture
you're
happened
maybe you're a
before.
casualty of the rapture.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, but for
Yeah.
real though, the rapture is crazy. That is not even like
Yes.
in the bio. It's like
I know.
it is like
The way whoever made that happen, they should get into
they were
marketing.
they were
No, no,
in their bag. They really were.
you killed that for real because that
Not
took
the
off.
biblical fan fiction. Oh my gosh.
The way that we were all so convinced that it was 100% true and biblical, and there's like
John's
one verse.
Revelation alternate universe. I mean,
I know.
yeah.
And it's definitely not apocalyptic literature. Definitely not.
Oh my gosh.
Very literal. Yeah, well, that is my overshare moment. But thank you so much for agreeing to
Oh
come
my
on. This has been
god.
so much fun.
Dude, I would love to come back anytime if you need another guest as a
Oh
Hail
my gosh,
Mary.
don't say that because I will invite you back because
Yeah,
this is so
I'll
much
be
fun.
back. I
I love your
love
takes.
gossiping. I love it.
Gossiping is my vibe. Yes. Okay. So I also have a Patreon, guys. It is 3 extra bonus stories a month for $5. So if you want to check that out, I will link it. And I'll also link Abigail's stuff as well as your Healdish episode. That way, if people don't know your
Cool.
lore, holy moly, love it. I loved your episode. It was the best. But
Yeah, go listen to my lore.
Yes. Thank you so much again for agreeing to come on. And I will see you guys next week for another episode of the Overshare Hour.